Have you ever felt like your reality is being distorted and you're left questioning your own sanity? You're not alone. This experience has a name, and it's called gaslighting. It's an invisible form of manipulation that's as subtle as it is destructive. Originating from a 1944 film where a man manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her mind, the term gaslighting has since infiltrated our understanding of emotional abuse. It's become a common topic in psychology and discussions about relationships. Gaslighting is a sly tactic that can leave you feeling like you're walking on eggshells, doubting your own memory, and constantly second-guessing yourself. But fear not. Knowledge is power, and understanding this deceptive practice is the first step towards combating it. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of what gaslighting is and how to recognize it. So, what exactly is this thing called gaslighting? Let's get right into it. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse, a psychological manipulation tactic that can be subtle yet deeply damaging. Its name comes from a 1938 play called Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her mind. Now, it's a term used to describe a behavior that aims to sow seeds of doubt in a person, making them question their own memory, perception, or sanity. In essence, gaslighting is about power and control. The perpetrator uses lies, criticism, and isolation to invalidate and manipulate the victim. It's a learned behavior, often associated with personality disorders like narcissism, and it can occur in various types of relationships, not just romantic ones. It could be a parent, a friend, a colleague, or a boss. So, how does it work? Well, it's not a one-off event. It's a gradual and systematic process. It starts subtly, with small lies and distortions of reality. The gaslighter might deny saying something that they definitely said, or they might accuse the victim of forgetting things. Over time, these lies accumulate, creating a distorted reality where the gaslighter's narrative is the only one that matters. It's important to note that gaslighting is not always intentional. Some gaslighters may not be consciously aware of their behavior, but their ultimate goal remains the same: to gain power and control over their victim. They create confusion and self-doubt, making the victim more dependent on them for a sense of reality. This can lead the victim to question their own experiences, memories, and even their sanity. It's a deeply disorienting experience, and it can have severe mental health impacts, including anxiety, depression, and thoughts of suicide. Now that we know what gaslighting is, let's delve into its signs. Recognizing gaslighting can be tricky, but there are telltale signs to look out for. Gaslighting can often feel like an invisible manipulation because it's not always obvious. It's a subtle form of emotional abuse that can lead you to question your own reality. But fear not, there are some common signs to watch out for. One of the most common signs of gaslighting is the negation of memories. If someone consistently tells you that events didn't happen as you remember them, or that your memory is faulty, it might be gaslighting. Another sign to look out for is the justification of bad behavior. When someone behaves poorly but then blames you for their actions or makes excuses, it's a classic gaslighting move. Then there's the projection of insecurities. If a person is accusing you of the very things they themselves do, they could be trying to distract you from their own shortcomings. Invalidating emotions is another big red flag. If your feelings are consistently dismissed or made to seem irrational or overblown, you might be experiencing gaslighting. And let's not forget about minimizing responses. If someone continually downplays your emotions or reactions, making you feel as if you're overreacting or being too sensitive, that's a clear sign of gaslighting. Undermining self-worth is another tactic used by gaslighters. They may belittle your accomplishments, ridicule your dreams, or make you feel as if you're never good enough. Triggering distress is also a common tactic. Gaslighters often know your weaknesses and will use them to destabilize you emotionally. Exploiting mental health issues, shifting blame, and denying previous actions are all part of the gaslighting playbook. If someone is consistently making you feel guilty, confused, or less than, they may be gaslighting you. Knowing these signs is the first step to understanding if you're a victim of gaslighting. Remember, you're not alone, and there's always help available. Gaslighting doesn't just mess with your mind, it can have severe impacts on your mental health. The toll it takes is not just emotional, but it can be psychological as well. The manipulation is so subtle and so gradual that you might not even realize it's happening, but over time, it can lead to significant mental health issues. To start with, gaslighting can lead to depression. The constant questioning of your own reality, The persistent feeling of not being good enough or always being in the wrong can take a heavy toll on your self-esteem. This, in turn, can lead to feelings of sadness, loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed, and a general sense of hopelessness. Next, there's anxiety. The unpredictable nature of a gaslighter's behavior can keep you on edge. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, never sure when they'll switch from charming to cruel. This constant state of high alert can lead to feelings of nervousness, restlessness, and can even result in panic attacks. And it doesn't stop there. In some severe cases, gaslighting can lead to thoughts of suicide. When you're made to feel worthless, when your reality is constantly being questioned, when you're isolated from your support network, it's not uncommon to feel trapped and see no way out. The manipulation can be so profound that you start to question your sanity. You wonder if you're the one in the wrong, if you're the one who's crazy. This self-doubt, this questioning of your reality, is one of the most damaging aspects of gaslighting. It can shake your confidence in your own perceptions and leave you feeling disoriented and confused. The effects of gaslighting can be devastating, but remember, you're not alone, and there are ways to combat it. In our next segment, we'll discuss some of these strategies and provide you with the tools you need to reclaim your reality. But for now, let's take a moment to breathe, to process what we've learned, and to remind ourselves that we are worthy, we are valid, and we deserve to be treated with respect. So you suspect you're being gaslighted. What can you do about it? The first step is to acknowledge what's happening. It might feel uncomfortable, but it's crucial to admit to yourself that you're being manipulated. This is not about blaming yourself, but rather about reclaiming your reality and power. Secondly, educate yourself. Understanding the tactics and patterns of gaslighting can arm you with the knowledge to recognize it when it's happening. It's not about you, it's about the manipulator's need for control. Next, seek professional help. Therapists and counselors trained in dealing with emotional abuse can provide you with strategies to cope, and they can help you to heal from the damage caused by gaslighting. You don't have to face this alone. Another important step is setting boundaries. It's okay to say no, to assert your feelings, and to remove yourself from situations that make you uncomfortable. You have a right to your emotions, your memories, and your reality. Remember to practice self-care. Gaslighting can be emotionally draining, leaving you feeling confused and depleted. It's important to take time for yourself, to rest, rejuvenate, and do things that make you feel good. This can be anything from reading a book to taking a yoga class or just spending time with loved ones who make you feel safe and valued. Lastly, consider your options. If the gaslighting is coming from a partner or family member, consider whether it's healthy to maintain that relationship. If it's happening at work, you might want to speak with human resources or consider seeking employment elsewhere. You deserve to be in environments where you are respected and valued. Remember, you have the power to break free from the cycle of gaslighting. Gaslighting is a complex and damaging form of manipulation, but understanding it is the first step towards tackling it. We've covered a lot in this discussion, but let's quickly revisit the key takeaways. We began by defining gaslighting, a form of emotional abuse that involves subtle manipulation and invalidation, often leading the victim to question their reality. We then explored the common signs of gaslighting, ranging from negating memories and justifying bad behavior to undermining self-worth and triggering distress. We discussed the severe mental health impacts it can have, including depression, anxiety, and even thoughts of suicide. Lastly, we provided actionable strategies on how to respond to gaslighting, empowering yourself to break free from its grip. Remember, you have the power to change your situation. Don't let anyone dim your light. You're stronger than you think.